Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys ACGHK 2025 figure preview video. Before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for coming out with me in person to the convention, and of course for snapping these beautiful high-res pictures. Show Ryan some love in the comments below, because without him, this series literally would not be possible. Now, if you're looking to pre-order your very own copy of Sam Porter Bridges, either the artisan or sculpted hair version, I've popped some links to Pop Collectibles in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. When you're pre-ordering Hot Toys figures from Pop, you can either pay the full amount right up front, or leave a deposit and fix up the balance when the piece releases. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Death Stranding content goes live, because you never know, there could be more. I'm hoping for a Fragile, maybe some other characters, we'll just have to wait and see, but let's talk about Sam. I never thought that we'd be getting a 1/6 scale Sam from Hot Toys. This being the first officially licensed, I think, Norman Reedus figure. I mean, the possibilities for kit bashing, customizing, endless. I've already seen people saying that they're going to use this for a John Wick or Ballerina Norman Reedus custom. Freaking go for it. This head sculpt is near perfect, but we'll discuss the head sculpt a little bit later. So many accessories. So it's worth noting that there's multiple versions of Sam. We've got the artisan, we've also got the standard with sculpted hair. I'll be opting for the artisan. I think it looks like the more realistic of the two, and it's limited to 4,000 pieces worldwide. That's global. Like, sometimes people are thinking, oh, maybe it's 4,000 for Hong Kong and there's more for the rest of the world. No, it's 4,000 global in total. They confirmed that at the convention. In terms of accessories, so much stuff. We even get the freaking pizza dough of all the accessories to give Sam. Like, this was not on my radar. There it is. We get a flat version. It's not entirely flat. There's a bit of a wave to it. And one that looks like it's being spun around, or, Sam's hand is on the inside of it. All of the little doodads and bits and pieces you can pop on Sam's outfit just to complete the look. There's world building, there's so much gadgetry, and the paint applications. Like the little rivets and the sculpted screws. This piece is going to be an absolute feast for the eyes. Every square millimeter of outfit is taken up by something on Sam. Like, even if you've not played the game, you know who Norman Reedus is, you surely are aware of Death Stranding, I'm pretty sure most collectors are, you will know that this, number one, is a very well crafted piece, and number two is something that could foreseeably be a centerpiece in someone's video game collection. It's an important character from an important franchise. Look at the little labels on the pistol. The bright neon colored trigger. Then we've got the little button around the front and all of the little text bits and pieces. I can't wait to get Sam in hand and study all of these accessories, because yes, you spend a long time looking at gear in the game as you're trudging around, but having a tangible version of it in 1/6 scale, I already said this, but I never thought it was going to happen. Now, the BB container is empty. If you've not played the second game yet, I'm not going to spoil anything. I won't tell you why it's empty. It would have been cool as a nod to the first game if the baby was actually inside the container, but they've left it empty for a very specific reason. The sculpt work for the hands, insane. We've got the ring on his right hand thumb there, and they were a little bit cheeky in their promo pictures. It looked like he was going to come with one of the emotes, the little love heart that hovers above his thumb, but that's actually not included. They could have done it. Had a switch out ring with a translucent rod, then the translucent plastic heart painted blue just hovering above his thumb there. Instead, they photoshopped it, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I reckon if they're not going to include something that's sort of a thing in the game, then you shouldn't Photoshop it, surely, as part of your promo pictures to sell a product. It feels kind of cheap and like trickery. I don't know how else to describe it. Weigh in the comments below. Does it bother you, or is it a total non-issue? Maybe I'm just getting up in arms about nothing. Speaking about arms, the rifle, again, text everywhere. The neon red pink on the switches and the trigger, the various little bits and pieces. I'm curious to find out how much moves on the weapons, but we'll have to wait and see. The rope, real rope, and this is infused with Sam's blood. For those who don't know, that's what the red is. Then we get Dollman, but you'll see it, or him, I should say, when we pan up to Sam. For me, in my collection, Sam is going to be wearing everything. As much as I could possibly put on him, I'm going to do it, because you don't want to leave any accessories in the box, right? This game is all about him being a porter. He's carrying shit around on him. So loading him up with as many accessories as possible, that's what I'm going to do. The BB container, we've got the carbon fiber looking version, and you can remove the rope or sort of like umbilical cord thing that connects to the container. It's modular, you can switch bits and pieces out. The carbon fiber print, so convincing. Then we've got the backpack. Sculpted plastic, as far as I can tell. You can see the molly straps and the buckles, and the charm hanging off the bottom of the bag. Plus, the exoskeleton leg armor bits and pieces. They shouldn't get in the way of articulation too much, but they will restrict it a little. The card. It's a thing. Comes with a stand. It's made of metal. It's included. That's really all I have to say about it. Now the display base. This has been a point of contention for some people. I like it, but I don't think I love it. They showed off a different base, a completely different looking base. It was a larger platform style base, much more room on it to pose Sam on top of it. That was teased in some pictures where the CEO of Hot Toys, Howard Chan, was showing it off to Kojima himself. They decided to change the base to this, and while the light up is brilliant, and we've got the drips going up on the bottom for the base, the platform on top is so tiny, it's so small, and it's at an angle. There isn't much room to pose Sam on top of the base. In my opinion, stands, first and foremost, should work best as stands, then they can be art pieces. If you are struggling, if you have to fight with a piece to get it to stand properly on the display base, then it's kind of a fail. Like, that's just the way I see it. Tell me in the comments if you feel the same way, but I much prefer the other base they were showing off to Kojima. That looked like a superior base versus what they ended up going with. But you never know, it could have been some kind of mandate from Kojima himself where he said, no. That base, not what I'm after. That doesn't capture the vibe from Death Stranding 2. You need to go with the red cube one, and the light up is brilliant. We'll never really know, but that is the base that we're going to be getting, the red cube version. So this Sam has the leg exoskeleton already attached, and I don't know if that works with magnets or Velcro or what. We'll have to see when this guy comes out. But the weathering. There's weathering over everything, including the fabric outfit. Do y'all remember when they used to never weather fabric? It would just be weathered armor on a completely clean, fresh-looking undersuit, because weathering fabric is notoriously so difficult at the factory. Because to get consistency throughout the batch, make sure every figure looks the same, when you're painting fabric, the paint seeps into the fibers of the fabric differently from piece to piece, and consistency goes right out the window. Somehow, they've cracked the code, they've managed to get consistency and a properly weathered look out of fabric at the factory, so now they're running with it. We've been getting weathered fabric for a while, and I'm so happy to see it here on Sam. There's Dollman again. You can attach him to Sam's belt, and I will be doing that. Looks a little creepy, but it looks accurate to the game. The shirt isn't as weathered as the pants are. It's more like a jumpsuit, but his upper torso has a little bit of grey speckling on it, but nothing crazy. Then the umbilical cord that attaches to the BB container, it's wired so you can bend it round and shape it. I'm nervous that if you've got a really harsh bend on it, like here at the convention, that it will crack over time, but it also seems like a pretty sturdy, thick PVC material, so I could be worrying about nothing again. You know, the neat thing about Sam, I just thought about this, is nobody's Sam is going to look the same as everybody else's. Because the layout of the boxes will be completely different, how much or how little gear you decide to display him with. Sam is going to be unique, bespoke to your collection in terms of what you decide to put on him or what you decide not to. You can have more on his arms. You can have more on his back. You can have some on his legs. You can have him carrying some. Weapons, no weapons. Translucent BB container, no BB container. Everything is so modular. Being able to rock Sam the way you want him, that is pretty much the best part about having a 1/6 scale version of him. He is 100% customizable. The little knife with the fold out piston up top, you saw the collapsed version a second ago with all of the other accessories. This one has a bright red blade and that little piston. We've already discussed the rifle, but here he is holding it, and look at the trigger discipline. He's got his trigger finger out instead of inside the trigger well. That is a brilliant trigger discipline and some great attention to detail. If his finger was on the trigger, which, by the way, the trigger is broken off on this prototype, just ignore that. The final production piece will be a lot sturdier than the prototype. Usually these are like resin 3D printed. You shouldn't have an issue with the trigger breaking when this figure comes out. It's just something that I noticed looking at these pictures. Again, weathering. There's weathering on the rifle, there's washers, there's lighter grey dry brushing, and the same thing can be said for the apparatus that sits over his shoulder. There will be some articulation, but the linkages look so freaking fragile. It would have been sick if it could have lit up like it does in the game and how it pulses, but the thinness of everything, running wires through it, would have added even more fragility to it. Not going with lights in there, I understand that decision. I do. I would prefer this thing not to break versus light up. Switch out panels with a painted light up effect, a simulated light up, that would have worked. But still, it's not something that I'm going to complain about. The triangular mounting bracket on the front of Sam, we've got real straps and real buckles connecting it to his outfit. That's what the BB container mounts to. This head sculpt might just be one of their best artisan sculpts to date. That is Norman, like, that is him. From every angle, that is Norman Reedus. They killed it with the likeness. The expression, there's a subtle smirk, but I reckon depending on the eye position you go with, because he does have moving eyes, you'll almost be able to adjust that expression. Have him looking up through his brow, then he'll look more pissed off. Have him looking off to the side through the fringe, same thing. But straightforward, you can use that smirk to your advantage. Maybe have him pose with the thumbs up hand if you want to. His eyes aren't fully open all the way, and that's what people have been asking for. We want a little bit of a squint. We don't want the eyes to be fully wide open, they look like deers in headlights. This comes across a lot more realistic and not so doll-like, for lack of a better way to describe it. The hair, you can even see his ear poking out through the hair. Will styling it be a little tricky with the collar and the hood around it? Yeah, trying to get in there maybe, but you could always detach the head sculpt, style the hair, then pop the sculpt back on. Now, the sculpted hair version we will discuss in a moment. For me, is it rooted hair or bust? I reckon so, because you can style it and move it round so that his ear comes out like I said, and the possibilities are sort of endless with how you want to style it. If you'd like to slick it back more, you probably could. Just work with it. I'm starting to get more comfortable with styling rooted hair. I still don't consider myself the best or even close to the best 1/6 scale hairstylist out there, but the more I work with these artisan head sculpts, the better I feel I'm getting at moving the strands into the positions that I want them and getting them to sit in place. This shouldn't be too tricky to work with, is what I'm trying to say. But once again, the likeness is on point there. Then the skin texture, the moles, the freckles, the goatee, the subtle, almost moustache up top. It's some of the finest artistry I've seen from Hot Toys in a while. I reckon they knew that they needed to nail this. Well, they should know that they need to nail everything technically, but I mean, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they put the B team on it. With Sam, no B team today. This is an A team job all the way round, top and bottom. This, the sculpted hair head, still great. But something about the way the hair comes down the front, it looks very thick. It is thick, it's sculpted PVC plastic, it can't be super thin, otherwise it'll be way too fragile. There's individual strands, fragile, get it? Anyway, there's the little strands that stick off the main body of the sculpt work, and you can see his ears poking through, but it comes across wiggish, which is odd because it isn't a wig. The artisan one technically is a wig. This is just part of the sculpt. This is still a great option. The artisan one is just calling my name. I have to go all in. If this is going to be the only character we get from Death Stranding 2, then why not go all out? At least that's the way I see it. Now, if you, like me, need to have Sam Porter Bridges as part of your collection, I've popped a link to Pop Collectibles in the description where you can pre-order him either the artisan or sculpted hair figure. It's entirely up to you, as well as the discount code Justin's Collection for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you find yourself heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.